The world was in awe when news broke about a revolutionary gel capable of freezing the human body, preserving it in a state of suspended animation. It was a breakthrough in science and medicine, a glimmer of hope for those desperate to cheat death. The gel, known as CryoGel, promised a future where humans could be preserved indefinitely until a cure for their ailments or aging was found. However, there was a catch. The process of freezing the body with CryoGel required 1 week in a sensor-deprived state, during which the body would be slowly cooled to retain healthy cells upon unfreezing. Any other freezing method would destroy the body, rendering it useless upon thawing. This revelation sent shockwaves through the scientific community, shattering the dreams of countless individuals who had already been cryogenically frozen using older techniques. The shareholders behind Eternis Industries, the company responsible for CryoGel's creation, were in a frenzy. The announcement of the 1-week sensor deprivation requirement had put a damper on their plans. Prospective buyers for the gel disappeared overnight, unwilling to subject themselves to a week of sensory deprivation. Eternis Industries was on the brink of financial ruin. Amidst the chaos and desperation, a sinister suggestion emerged from one of the company's shareholders during a secret meeting. Why not use the CryoGel on prisoners instead? He proposed. The room fell silent as the idea sank in. It was a chilling proposition, but one that could potentially salvage Eternis Industries' fortunes. The decision was made to experiment with the gel on a select group of prisoners, individuals who were serving life sentences for heinous crimes. The promise of redemption through science seemed alluring, even to those deemed irredeemable by society. I was one of those prisoners, chosen to become a guinea pig for Eternis Industries' desperate experiment. My name is Jacob, and I was sentenced to life in prison for a crime I committed in a fit of rage. The prospect of being frozen and awakened in a future where my sins could be forgiven both terrified and intrigued me. On the day of the procedure, I was brought to a secret facility deep underground. The guards treated me like a lab rat, stripping me of my humanity. I was injected with the CryoGel and placed inside a specially designed cryogenic chamber. As the gel coursed through my veins, I could feel an otherworldly coldness seeping into my bones. As the lid of the chamber closed, darkness enveloped me. Panic set in as my senses began to fade. I couldn't hear, see, or feel anything. I was trapped in my own mind, alone with my thoughts. Time became an abstract concept, and the days blurred together in an endless void. After what felt like an eternity, the day of awakening arrived. The lid of the chamber opened, and a burst of warm air enveloped my frozen body. I had made it through the ordeal, but something was terribly wrong. I could see the panicked expressions on the faces of the Eternis Industries scientists. They whispered urgently to each other, their eyes filled with horror. The gel had worked, freezing my body and preserving it, but they hadn't anticipated what would happen to the mind during the sensor-deprived state. As they unfroze me, I realized the devastating truth. My body was intact, but my mind had been irreversibly damaged. I was trapped in a perpetual nightmare, forever conscious but unable to communicate or move. I was a living corpse, a shell of my former self. Days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months. I became a spectacle, a prisoner of my own body, displayed as a cautionary tale for all who sought to defy death. The shareholders who had suggested this macabre solution had vanished, leaving me to suffer the consequences of their greed. The outside world knew nothing of my torment. They believed the CryoGel was a success, unaware of the true horror lurking beneath the surface. Eternis Industries continued to thrive, marketing their gel as a miracle solution, while I withered away in the depths of despair. My only solace was the occasional visit from a sympathetic scientist who would stare into my lifeless eyes with a mixture of guilt and pity. They couldn't undo what had been done, but their presence offered a small glimmer of humanity in an otherwise bleak existence. As the years rolled by, I lost all sense of time. The line between reality and nightmare blurred until I couldn't distinguish one from the other. The prison within my own mind became my eternal sentence, a punishment far worse than any physical pain. My existence became a twisted paradox, a symbol of humanity's folly. The promise of cheating death had turned into a nightmare of eternal torment. The world had been deceived, and I was the living testament to their hubris. In the end, I remained frozen in that chamber of despair, lost in the depths of my own consciousness. A cautionary tale for those who would tamper with the balance of life and death. The cryogel may have frozen my body, but it was my soul that was truly trapped, forever entangled in the dark web of its own making. And so, I exist, a prisoner of my own mind, forever lost in the frozen abyss of cryostasis.